Doug, you have amnesia?
I've heard you ask this question before.
Yeah. I asked the ladies this on Thursday night, so I'll come to y'all later in a minute. Yes.
I would say I most certainly do.
You have amnesia?
Uh-huh.
And why do you think you have it?
I mean, like I said, I've heard you ask this question before, so I've heard you
So you think you have it just because I asked the question? But
I think that I was totally different as a kid, a little bit more aware, a little bit more in tune with God, and I don't remember. I mean, there's some things I can remember, but most of it I don't remember, and I don't believe that I am that in tune with God at this point. So yes, I think I have amnesia.
do you have amnesia?
Yes,
And why do you say yes?
because I don't know who I am and I forget that I'm on the right path and I'm always going in and out of consciousness. And then there's times I'm like doing things, I think the devil's my dad and that's not, and I'm like, it's finished, and I keep trying to add things, so it's like someone who has amnesia, like
Oh, okay.
Goldie Hawn and Overboard.
What is it like being married to her? I mean, what's that like, though? What does that feel like? What is it like?
What is it like? Well, I mean, like any, we have good times. But I think I do have amnesia because I didn't listen last week, but so I'm just kind of taking this question in now. But yeah, I think I do have amnesia because most of the times when I make the wrong decision, it's like I know it's wrong and yet I do it anyway. Like if it's procrastinating or drinking or putting something off or something, it's like I know it's wrong, but then I still do it. So maybe that is a form of amnesia. Or getting bothered by or stressed out by a thought that I know is like irrelevant or not important.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that's a form of amnesia.
Do you think you were under the influence of amnesia when you married her?
Yeah, I think it could be because I was aware of some of the issues that we had and some of the unresolved things, but we just got married anyway, and we're still going at it.
I understand.
Not all demons are ugly, right?
That's right. And about amnesia, I heard the story from somewhere else, so that's why I know about it, about amnesia. And they were saying that this guy driving down the road, like a truck driver, he stopped at a truck stop, and somehow or another he hit his head. I just showering or something, but he hit his head. And when he hit his head, he forgot where he was going. He forgot the locations. He forgot his way back home. He just forgot everything. And so he got back into his truck and he just drove down the road. But he couldn't remember anything. He couldn't remember where he was going, where he had come from. And so it started to get dark. And when it started to get dark, fear sat in, because he didn't know where he was or where he was going. And so he just parked the truck on the road and stopped on the road. And the next morning he got up and got back on the road, but he still couldn't find his way back. He had no idea or anything, so he couldn't find his way back. And that's what it's like for every human being. You have amnesia, and what you have forgotten is the Father, and you have forgotten your way back home. You have forgotten your way back to the Father. And intellectually, you're trying to figure out how to do it. You're trying to learn. That won't work. You're trying to learn by being emotional. That won't work. Or being angry or whatever, doing good things for people. That won't work. You have forgotten God, and the only way that you're going to remember Him, you got to stay present, and then you got to die from the delusion. You do have amnesia. Because before you were traumatized, before you were hit upside the head, right? Before you were traumatized spiritually, you knew the Father. You knew your way home. You knew the Father. But once you were traumatized spiritually, you forgot the Father. And you forgot your way back home. Every human being has amnesia. And so I'm encouraging you, I wanted to say a little bit more about it, but because of time I can't. I'm encouraging you that if you want it, it's up to you. You literally got to work on this. You can't play with it. As you just heard, it's a serious thing, but not a serious thing to freak out. It's real. The devil is not kidding, and the devil does not want you to find your way back home. He wants to keep you on that lost road and pretending that this is the way home, and you're never going to get home. A wife or a husband's not going to do it. Money's not going to do it. Friends are not going to do it. Jobs are not going to do it. Reading the Bible is not going to do it. You got to get on this straight and narrow and let the light guide you to it. And you got to be serious about it. Don't just, I throw you these biblical questions out to try to get you to at least focus on yourself during the week. And I'm telling you that the more you focus on you, it will get to a point that it's going to become the greatest joy ever to know you, to live from within, to know the internal world instead of the outer. You're going to know both. You're not at work, the outer world as well, but you want to know how to live from within. But you gotta stay present, because the devil doesn't want to leave you. He's always talking to you. He's always making you feel things, one thing or another. And he will put other evil demons in your life to make you overreact too, to make you feel something. Because demons love demons. They hate each other, but they love it. So you do have amnesia. Because if you didn't have the amnesia, you'd already be home. You'll already be there, and you will be free. And you have no pain, no sorrow. And do y'all understand now that what he talked about today is what God is trying to save you from? Is that a little bit clearer? He's trying to save you from the very thing that you're trying to stay with. You say you want God to save you, but when loneliness comes, instead of staying in the loneliness, what do? You make a phone call. When sadness comes, instead of staying in the sadness so he can save you from, which is hell, you turn the TV on, or you go to a party, or you go somewhere, right? Or when you're like, this is a good one. Everybody guilty of this one. When the desire comes to have the third word, S with the X in it. Y'all know what that is, right? Instead of going through that and staying with it, what do? You go and find somebody to do it with. And then what do you tell yourself once you do it? I just can't help it. I just couldn't help myself. I don't know what's wrong with me. You're not trusting God. You don't have faith in God. Because if you have faith in God, when the X come, you'll go through the pain. You'll die from it. You'll go through it. And then it will no longer control you. And when you do get married, it will be in moderation. You'll make babies. But you won't do it for a thrill. You won't do it for a thrill. You'll do it to make babies. And yet you will have a thrill because you have to have some emotion to do that with, especially men, right? But it won't be your identity at all. You got to stop letting the devil tell you, I just couldn't help myself. I don't know why. You're worshiping the devil. So you got to die. And you are unconscious. Every human being, until the heart change, it wakes you up. And then you start to see that old nature. Any question about this?